Hi guys, it is Stacey Calder here and we are rocking and rolling this week. Welcome to Monday's session with our Meet the Experts. So we've only got 15 minutes, so I'm not going to waste time chatting. This guy is our sales expert. Martin doesn't really need an introduction, but we're going to give him one because he is awesome. So I met Martin through 4 Networking. He's down in Bristol. Yeah, he is down in Bristol. I'm up in the Midlands. We should never have met, but we did, and I love him. So we're going to bring him in and we're going to find out why he is our go-to sales expert. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. How are you? I am down in Bristol. I'm down with the kids in Bristol.
You are down with the kids. I was thinking, like, I'm rubbish at geography. My husband laughs at me all the time about my little detours, and I say, "Oh, it's only up there," and he's like, "No, it's down there." But
it's down there, yeah.
Anyway, you are in Bristol, but you do work nationwide, and let's face it, now things are mostly online at the minute. You can be everywhere.
Absolutely. Zoom has kind of taken over our lives, hasn't it? But from my perspective, it's great. Yes, I work all over the country. In fact, I've done stuff all over the world in my time. But now I can bring that to your living room, to your office, to your home, and deliver my solutions and work on a one-to-one, or even, do you know what? I can even do group sessions through Zoom and through webinar. So it's a fantastic tool. So, you know, we shouldn't forget, you know, how challenging it's been over the last few months, and still I think it will be for the next few. Let's be realistic. But I think, you know, we have to put a positive spin on whatever we can, and, you know, having a platform like this to be able to share and work with people is fantastic.
Absolutely. And I'm really pleased you mentioned you know, the tough times that people have been going through and things like that, because it is tough. And I've seen out there that I mean, it's sad. Some businesses are not going to make it. We get that. You know, we've now officially been told we're in a recession, and small businesses out there are panicking. I've seen businesses doing really well through COVID because of the nature of their business. So web designers, you know, I'll be honest, social media wise, I've been busy. I've needed to be. My husband hasn't been. But it's almost people are apologizing for going out there and selling. Have you seen that? You think people
I have, yeah. And, you know,
I'm hearing people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be selling now."
Yeah.
What's your take on that as a sales trainer, Martin?
You absolutely have to be selling right now. As a big picture thing, if people don't sell, then the whole economy is going to grind to a halt. Yes, it's grinding, but it will grind to a halt if people are not selling products and services. So you have to stay in business for yourself. You've got to stay visible. That's what I've been doing over the last 3 or 4 months. Stay visible, make it easy for people to find you, stay in touch, stay on people's radars. If people are not buying now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to buy ever again. It takes a hell of a long time. You'll know it takes a hell of a long time for people in business to get traction through social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other platforms. That takes time, consistency, visibility, etc. It can go like that. If you decide, oh, well, business isn't happening, I'll just take a back seat. And I've seen so many people do that, or I've not seen so many people because they've done that. So you've got to keep selling.
People, you don't know if they are one of these businesses that has, you know, fallen. Oh, you know, God forbid, because I want to see all small businesses succeed. In an ideal world, they would. But you know, the truth is they're not going to. And actually, I've seen people say, right, we've stopped our social media, or we've stopped our marketing budget, or we're not doing this. And I'll be honest, I do a lot of searches on social media. It's the way I work. I do Google stuff, but predominantly Facebook searches. And I think they've not updated since March. Are they still going? Am I going to bother them by sending them a message? Things like that. So yeah, marketing and things are absolutely key. But your expertise is sales. You've been on on our panel now as our Meet the Expert for sales. And you know, I've heard you speak a number of times. I was fortunate to kind of grab you up to Leamington Spa to do a talk, and I've seen you in Bristol as well. So I just, yeah, you are my go-to salesperson. I have to say, there is nobody that puts it quite like you do. It's a no-nonsense approach, but it's friendly and it's to the point, and it's no fluff, really, isn't it?
No, and what am I trying to say? It is no nonsense. And one of the first things that 13 and a bit years ago, a colleague, he trained me. I then became a colleague. He's now a client. One of the first things he said to me when I went into the world of learning and development was be humble. And that stuck with me because there's any number of people out there that I'm this, I'm that, I'm brilliant at this, and that turns people off. So I've always retained, I like to think anyway, that that humility side of things. And I say this with humility wrapped around it. With 30 years commercial sales and sales management experience, I've made all the mistakes several times over. I've learned a hell of a lot about how not to do things from sales managers. And I genuinely wish I'd done what I do now all my life, but I'm glad I haven't, because my stuff simply works because I know what doesn't work because I've done it. And now I'm in the position to be able to help business owners avoid those things. And if you have a look on LinkedIn, if you have a look at my testimonials, it's not me saying it works, it's my clients. And they get tangible return on investment. They make money as a result of working with me. It's as simple as that. But it is not fluffy. It's no nonsense. And when you implement it, and that for me can be the challenge, you know, and I've done my talk that you've heard a couple of times, and I hear people say, well, we've been to this one, we've heard this one before. Well, what have you done as a result of it? Because it's all good and well saying, yeah, that's great, and we'll write some notes, and it's great when people do. But if you do bugger all with it, then nothing's going to change.
Nothing changes.
And actually, I'm a massive believer in keeping people accountable and kick up the backside to make sure that they implement some of these things.
I love a bit of accountability, Martin. You know I do. And actually, I'm really pleased that you touched on that, because we were just talking backstage here in the studio about kind of ethos and rubbing people up the wrong way and stuff like that. And actually, I don't think you could ever rub anybody up the wrong way, but there is a massive difference in business between giving it the big one, if you like. I don't know. That's not the technical term, and then knowing you get tangible results. And I think you do know, and I've heard you at networking events, I've heard you speak, and quite often you focus on what your clients are saying, your testimonials, rather than what you say. And I'm quite similar. I shout about other people. I don't necessarily shout about me, because I think if my clients are successful, that's what makes me successful. And that's kind of how I do things, rightly or wrongly. Mike Boss is watching, and Mike Boss has just said, and the cover star of the next magazine. So we should probably get that in, shouldn't I? Know. Did you like that little dancer? You are going to be on the cover of the magazine. Now, obviously, my newsletter went out at the weekend, actually, and I did mention on there that this magazine, I'll hold my hands up, it is late. COVID has thrown some spanners in the works. We didn't want to get it out and rush it while obviously everyone was in lockdown, but people are starting to move again now. It's got a real kind of let's get out of lockdown feeling. So you've got lots of sales stuff in there. I'm really excited to have you as one of our experts on that cover. How do you feel about knowing that your face is going to be going out and hitting people's doormats?
Josh, I apologise for those if it lands face up on your doorstep. I do apologise. It's face for radio. But no, seriously, that's great. And I cannot wait. Seriously, I can. And you know, I've said to people, now is the time. I always say now is the time to be working on this stuff. But now especially is the time, because if you're not, your competitors will be. And I'm a massive advocate in looking at things from a client's perspective, from a customer's perspective. If I'm thinking of your products or services, There's an absolute certainty that I'll be talking to one or two of your competitors as well. So my whole ethos is, what are you doing to differentiate yourself in the way you help people through? Hopefully what I've put and we've discussed in the magazine will give people some ideas along that. But in terms of working on your business right here, right now, that is what you should be doing. And you need to do it consistently. Many years ago, I worked in elite sport. I did the travel for professional golfers on the European tour, which as a golfer was just awesome. But these guys work on their game: tennis, rugby, cricket, football, golf, whatever. They work on their game day after day after day. They don't just turn up and deliver elite performance. And it's the same in sales. You've got to keep working on your knowledge, your skills, your mindset. Because if you don't, then your performance levels will only go one way downhill, and that will give your competitors an advantage over you. And I don't want to see that. That's my real driver, is to help my clients stand out and differentiate themselves.
So then, Martin, let's because I mean, I know that you've worked in the car, you've worked with golfers, you've worked in the car and automotive industry, you've worked through and through, and now you're working with small businesses. But what type of business would get the most out of you? Who are you looking to work with? Who could really benefit from a session with you?
So in my experience, business owners generally, they love what they do, because that's why they set up a business. They're very good at what they do, which is why they set up a business, and they love running a business. But in my experience, lots of people, when you say the word sales, they're like, ooh, no, I don't work in sales, because there's this perception of, dare I say it, second-hand car salesman, or double glazing, or PPI, or all of that kind of negative stuff. And they don't have the confidence, because they think that's the way they're going to come across. And it's a mindset thing. It's a process thing. It's having the steps in place. The more you have the steps, the more confident you are, the easier it becomes. And I work with business owners who, they don't have a process. And it's about discussing and implementing some quick and simple steps. Typical doorbell. I'm not going to answer it. Quick and easy steps that can be implemented, that work, that get people interested, that move people into a conversation, that move them through a sales pipeline to a result, to a sale. So anybody who wants, and I know I shouldn't say anybody, but small business owners who want better sales results, but they're not quite sure why they're not getting them right now. Those are the type of people that I work with, and I get success. And again, it's said with humility, it's success that can be implemented straight away. I worked with a gym owner in Bristol last year. It's the first time I've ever sat on gym benches and run half a day's training, and a team of personal trainers. And the gym owner themselves said they'd made £2,500 in one sale, as a result of implementing just one thing that I mentioned in that session. So it works. And I love it when it works.
Absolutely. And I just think, I can't imagine you sitting on a gym thing doing that, but
no,
it just goes to show, doesn't it? I didn't mean it like that. That's it. I knew there would be at some point today where I would get into trouble, and I should have known it would be while I was talking to you. Right, we are on 14 minutes, and I do say this will only be 15 minutes. I could chat to you all day, Martin, but let's leave it with this. And there's so many, I know. If you had to give someone one sales tip to do now, to act on now, what would it be?
Other than pick up the phone and talk to me, other than that, it would be, have a look at the journey that your prospects go through. In terms of, I've got a problem, I've got a want, I've got a need, the research that they do, the steps that they take, because I call them moments of truth. They're touch points that your prospects will have along their journey, interactions with you and your business. and have a look at what are those key touch points. And the more that you can identify them and meet and exceed prospects' needs in a way that differentiates you from your competition, the easier it is for your prospects to ultimately buy from you, because it's not always about money. We've all spent more on something than we thought we were going to because we saw value for money. And for me, those touch points are the real moments of truth for the prospects. And if you can hit those, I promise you'll differentiate yourself from your competition.
Fantastic. Always a pleasure, Martin. So guys, Martin is our sales expert. I'm going to let you sit in the background for a second, Martin, while I share your details with everybody. Martin is our sales expert. As I say, you can find him on the Business Success Network website, which is just there. It's mirrored. businesssuccessnetwork.co.uk. Meet the experts. Go and find the sales tab, which is Martin. He is also on the app Business Success Network. You can ask him a question on the app, or you can get in touch with him. I know he's a big advocate for LinkedIn, so you can go over and find him on LinkedIn. Martin Baines Learning Solution. So that is us for today. We are back on Wednesday. I have a very special guest. I have author Christian Wilson, who's coming on to talk about his new book, Collaborate. So if you're into a bit of personal development and you like a good book, make sure you join us for that. That is at 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Guys, it's been fantastic to see you again. Thank you to Martin for coming and joining me in the studio. We've got next Monday another expert, which I will confirm who it is shortly. It was going to be Gary Jones, but he joined us last week. So, yeah, we'll have a new one of our expert panels on. Guys, it's been lovely to see you. Head over to the Business Success Network group now. We've got Mindset Monday happening over there, where you can keep all your mindset fresh, positive, and up to date. I will see you all very soon.